Okay. So recording in progress. And let's fix my. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. So today we will be doing some complex search queries. This is basically a culmination of all that you have learned so far. But of course, we could only pick and choose a certain number of queries from the book, which I was able to do. And these queries, I haven't tested it, but obviously it's in the book, so it should probably be quite okay. And we try to cover chapter 14 and 15. That's where I picked these. And we would just scan through the queries and start to use them in the browser. I don't need this one, so I'm just going to close it. Okay, so these are the queries that I thought would be useful. In chapter 14, we start with very basic search for finding the middle initial of Donna Mullen. And we are trying to get to the email or emails as a plural. The site is another restricted, which will stick to the government source or the educational sources. This looks like a very basic search query to me. I would like to just run it quickly. We have about, I think, 24 or so queries today that I would like to finish up. And of course, we'll have to go through them quicker than usual. But I guess the idea here is to make sure that we cover the structures, the different ways in which we can set it up. So if you look at this one.
Mr. Naveed, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfectly fine. Thank you.
Isha, what type of search queries you are mostly interested in? What is it that you look for when you do your search or whatever else that
Since I am
you do
in
on regular basis?
education sector, so mostly we look for educational content. So I always advise my students to either look for educational sites such as like university websites where they can pull some data which is on public portal. Apart from that, we also refer to government sites depending upon what kind of content they are looking for. So yeah, we are using .gov.edu or any of our local entities, which we are government local entities, which we can actually refer sometimes.
Okay. So, but you do know how to get to .edu and all those that have extension with the edu coming from the educational institutions.
Yes,
So
yes, I do.
it should not be as complex, but in this one, we are only trying to find email or emails as a plural. We've got OR in between. And then for the site operator, we have used site either coming from the government institutions or coming from .edu. So let's try this one first. And we've got a lot of queries we can run, including the ones that you are interested in. So here we go. Okay. So when we do site.gov.edu, we get extensions, but I have purposefully eliminated or excluded some of the operators just so that we can make it better or fine tune it slightly more. So this one is coming from .org. I wonder what's going on with this. Mm.
Mr. Naveed, maybe this is due to the reason that the site is actually somewhat linked with government.
Yes, it is possible. But I would like to see something that says comes with the extension of edu in the URL. Like this one has .org, issue.com. Again, it does not have any of these attributes like .gov or .edu. And I've used an aesthetic here. So I guess I am not getting where I would like to go. So I have also added another operator of or another instance of site here, and I'm going to try it now. Okay. Now it's doing a better job. So what was missing here was the inclusion of the site operator in comparison to another instance of site with .gov, and I've used OR here. So I want you to make a note of it just so that you understand that whenever we are using an OR, and as I mentioned, you have to match apples with apples, or at least it should be from the fruit basket and not vegetables. So it should be somewhat compared with the instances of the same operator when you're using OR. So if I don't use OR, if I don't put site here, there is a possibility that the search might get confused and think of this as a word as opposed to an extension of a domain restrictor. So, and I think I've mentioned it before when we were doing other of these advanced operators with the colon signs. So this is what I would preferably do, make it work. So to correct it, I'm going to start to make a list and put it as part of your, oh gosh, where was it? As, I'll just put it here. As our first query. So this is the correction for the first one. Is this part clear? See, what happens is that whenever you have something, or maybe if I explain it in the notepad, you could think of it as if I didn't use the site operator over here. What have I done? I have basically, I wasn't mindful of the rule that anything that you attach or comes without any single character gap after the colon sign is obviously is considered to be the command that cannot be ignored. But whenever you use or and put another word next to or in comparison as two options, this may not be considered a restriction or a restrictor to accommodate the site domain or something to do with the site itself. Now it has become a kind of a word and not even a proper word. So why? Because we used the asterisk, but we did not enclose it within quotation marks. So this is apart from what I'm trying to explain, but giving you an idea that if there is another word in the operation of using the advanced search, um, taking an example, let's say if I had in text I wrote semantics as a word, and I put another or operator here, and I say textual database. What this would do is that it's going to ensure that the word semantics is found in the body of text, whereas with the OR, the option says that you could also look for the word textual database, not necessarily within the body of text, but anywhere else that it can be found. In title could be another example. So if I used in title, I am enforcing the word semantics to be found, but at the same time, the or option sort of asks the search to now make a choice either to ignore this part and select this as a word and not to have anything to do with the title text. So that's where, the technicality exists, and that's what we have overcome, where the original was put in, let's just call it 1A. Originally, this was the query that we ran, and it was not accurate. Okay. By adding the site, I have now given it a proper instruction, so this would be accurate. Okay. Now let's move to the next one. Where is the next one? In this one, let's suppose you wanted to find the email address of Donna Mullen, either at with the extension at yahoo.com or using at gmail.com. Both of these are mandatory return because they're enclosed within quotes. And here the at has an option to occur anywhere on those pages and may also include an extension of .edu. Okay. So, just to make sure that you don't, exclude the option of .edu as part of the email address or part of the domain, whatever, can be found with the at as part of a notation of an email somewhere, it is going to be including an email that has an extension .edu. So if Donna Mullen had or has an email given to her from the educational institution, assuming that she actually works in some university or any of the other sort of sources that would tie her up with the email that has edu. If I run this, let's see what I'm going to find. So she has both the addresses at Gmail and at yahoo.com. And because the at symbol is added and is appearing everywhere here, probably had chosen at. But suppose what is the drawback in this one? What do you see as a restrictor that could actually throw you out of the search totally? What could be the restraints that affects the search results? I think when you put, now supposing with the yahoo.com or gmail.com, supposing Donna Mullen, she does not have any of these emails. or public emails, but has only the email with .edu as an extension, then you will get stuck. Or if she does not have either of these two, again, you will get stuck. Luckily, she has both. So, it's a pairing. I'm not sure if it is the same Donna Mullen, but assuming that both were available for this name, it did execute, but I would rather give it an option in case if I'm not getting the correct results. So that should be my approach if this query is not working. Alternatively, I could just get rid of all of this and see if she has the at or at edu somewhere. In fact, I'll be better off if I just have to find at .edu as an email extension for Donna Mullen. I'll try it and see what happens. University of Massachusetts, so she might have the email address. What's happening here? Okay. Oh, that's because I have to sign into LinkedIn. If it is a reference that is taking me to any of the social media sites, I have to log into it, and I don't have a login for this. So let me look at the other one. It is not available. Okay. It's just somebody else. Yeah, it should be there. LinkedIn. I don't know what login is for LinkedIn. She would have the address with the extension of .edu as an email, but I don't have the login for this right now. Let me try it in another browser.
Mr. Naveed, can I just add in one thing here?
Yes.
I feel that the university address, I mean, the portal doesn't end with edu here, because if it was actually included with the same
We are
portal
looking,
.edu,
it's not the portal we are looking for, Isha, we're looking for the email address. Wherever it exists, that has, because if Donna is working somewhere in educational institution, she would have an email address that ends with .edu, just so that it becomes official address for her. She would be given an email that ends with .edu. That's what we are trying to find, not the
yeah,
URL
because it's
or
Mr.
not the
Naveed, it's
institution.
showing you to access from LinkedIn, and it's showing the university as well. That is what I was actually thinking. Maybe the university portal has different, it doesn't have .edu. That's what I was thinking. Because it's only giving you
No,
access to LinkedIn. Otherwise, it would definitely show us the university as well.
I mean, that's what you're saying, right? But what is it that we are looking for? That's important.
Mhm.
What we are looking for is just the email
Email
address,
address. Mhm.
wherever it exists. She may have worked there and then she left probably, so she's no longer represented or she's no longer found on the
Yes,
in the
yes, I got
university.
you now. Mhm.
Anyway, we have to keep moving. And I'm going to look for telephone numbers. Okay. So how do you find someone's phone if it exists somewhere? Mm, okay. So, okay, Kristen, we can try one of those queries. Kristen works in university, so it'll be interesting to see what her email address is. We can actually do that search. Might as well just do it right now. So let's just get some information from you. And you have, obviously, you have an extension with the .edu as official email, right, Kristen?
Yes.
Okay, then let's try it. Kristen, right?
Yes.
And the last name, if you don't mind, what is that?
Baylor, BAHLER.
Yeah, okay, there it is. Okay, let's try it out. Unless there is another Kristen Baylor, same name.
Well, we'll see. And so far, none of that's me.
Are you in? No, you're not in any of these pictures, right?
Nope. Oh, wait.
Is that
No, but
sure?
scroll to the top of the page.
The first one, I guess.
The Alliant
Fine.
Library. Yep, that's me.
There, we found you.
Yep.
There, good success.
Woohoo!
Ooh.
Glad I could help.
Thank you for that. That's these are the examples we are looking for, really, just to, because you have the facts and you know exactly um, you know where, or you have the parameters in front of you, because it's the real thing with finding someone that I know or
Yeah.
makes it easy. So let's so we found this one. Now
Yep.
the next one I want to try is the phone numbers. If we have to look for the phones, uh, the query I would pull is this one. Just my example. We can even look for your phone number too, Kristen. But that would be privacy issue, right? See, my life is not that private. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares. So there you are, Naveed Manzoor, and this is the area codes for which I have my numbers. So I've used the term telephone. I've used 905 area code 647-416. Not a lot of information, but playing with the area codes phone numbers and see what it does for us. And obviously, we've used OR as an option. Like I don't have 416 anymore, so that's an option. Maybe the pages have cached that info already, so that can be retracked. Let's try it. So 416 area code, my old number. It's 258. It's showing up. Well, this is not me though. That's another guy. But apparently we kind of coexist in the same area, same name. But there could be one that belongs to me. This is the one. 647. Yeah. 77243. This is AOFIRS and my name is there. That's another guy, fan advisor. Fan, I am not there. French code. Anyway, the first one was my side. The third one was my number. Okay. Now I'm going to see another variation. This is another query. See here, I have put the last 4 digits and the middle 3 digits are missing here. So I can always use an asterisk. Again, the result will show up. Should show up. - 9054 should show. Okay. Maybe because it is a business phone, so let me put another operator here. Yeah, it's a business phone, so it's not tied to me directly. Mm. Another example, we're going to add another kind of notation, which is a range notation with 2 dots. But like I said, Google is not doing very well with 2 dots. Somehow it is conflicting somewhere. So algorithms are not bringing exactly the type of results that we call range. But let's give it a shot. So supposing there is this David, last name unknowns used in asterisk. Toronto could be one of the options. It's not mandatory to be found in Toronto, it could be around Toronto, because it is going to do its own semantics for the location. It can even be a city that it's specific to. But because David is a very common name, using Toronto won't matter. It should be a lot of Davids there. So the word telephone, and then we've put 1-877, toll-free numbers. We have to look for someone named David with toll-free numbers. Probability finding the toll free is that it is going to connect to the office or it is some business where they have the gentleman named David. And then again, there are different ways in which people write the phone number. So all 3 different formats, similar to how we used to do with the date arrangements or formats of the dates. We've written 800 with dash and also included 877. But most interesting would be to find someone within the. See, this is a problem. This is a Florida zip, the zip codes. So I would rather write here Florida, correct it. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Uh, let's try the range that is going to be between 32835 to 32839. Okay. So we would be able to find toll-free numbers for somebody named David, and it will be like this one, okay, in Florida. So what happens if I don't, just to check the range arrangement with the zip codes, I'll just lose this term Florida totally, and let's see what happens. Because I just want something within this zip code. By the way, you could see the zip code 32836. So that this is within range of 32835 and 32839. But supposing I don't even put the name of the state, then it's going to be more harder for the search. Let's see what it does. Again, Florida. I didn't put the word Florida, but because it knows the zip codes, it has the ability to find 800, for instance, somewhere in Florida. See, this is going to take you to Florida. And I bet you that anything that has to do with um, the zip codes, or where there is a mention of the zip code, it should be somewhere on the page itself. So let me check. It is a dynamic page, and doesn't show it here. I didn't see it on the page, but definitely it's going to be somewhere. Oh, here is 32837, right? There you are. So I guess this way you can find you know, the 1-800 numbers with the zip codes only. Then we have not, this is going to be more complicated, but all the same, it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of it. This is actually looking for the contact information for executive in Orlando, Florida, email address, phone. These are all different words that generally you see in those, pages that contain the contact info. Usually it has all these elements like email, words like email, address, phone. That's why it's been placed there. But none of these are placed inside of the quotation just to loosen it up a little. If any of these elements are missing, it would still be able to find the page. Now, by the way of how this query is set, you could see that we have used in URL with the word contact. Why we have used contact, can somebody tell me? Or do you think we could have done better with any other advanced operators? We use contact within URL only because we feel that anytime we go to a typical or any sort of website, yes, Isha,
I
you
was just
wanted
about,
to,
yeah, I just
yeah.
wanted to, I'm not really sure though, but yeah, I think when we already know that we are searching for some sort of contact within a website, then we use this.
Correct. So because those pages are connected with the URL, or URL is what takes someone to that specific page, which may have a title like contact in it. And as you know how the structure of the URL is done, it contains navigational portion or anything that is part of the main navigations, as in categories. Typical navigation generally we know of is about products, services, and then you have jobs, or you have contact or contact us. All those are pretty much, the main, or the what you call the main place, yeah, just the main navigation that you see in the header portion. So one of the words they use is contact, and whenever you click on a contact and look up the URL, you will find the word contact or contact us as part of the URL, because it is defining the directory or title of the page where it has taken you, or that link has taken you. That's why we are using in URL contact. um, I have not used contact us or anything that could be a substitute for contact. Some people write it different, but generally just the word contact should be good enough. And what else have we done here? There is an error in this one, so I just want you to find that error. Next thing is that we don't want anything coming from the government side, right? So what
Mr.
we have
Naveed,
done,
can I ask for a
yes,
question, please?
yes,
Can we make the screen, can we zoom in, please? Make the text little bigger, because
I,
it's difficult to read otherwise.
how about you, Christian? Uh, can you read my screen?
It can be a little hard to see the minus.
Maybe 120, I think. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay, that's definitely easier.
You know what? It's not actually increasing the size of the fonts in the address bar. See, it is just doing it down below, where the portion where you get the results. This is what is increasing, but if there was an option that would allow me to increase the fonts over here, I would do it, but
Mr. Naveed, can we have this? Yeah, in a word, yeah, notepad, I think is better.
okay. Let's try the notepad. I can increase and zoom in. Maybe this is better.
So you
what
said
are
there's an error, right, Mr. Navid?
what? Sorry?
You said there's an error with the query.
Yeah,
Should we
this
put the
is
minus
there
at
is
the
a
pad?
dot. There is a dot that was missing. That's how we write it when we use it with the site. So, things that you might just miss out. That's why I've put the dot here. Okay. And then this portion, executive or executives, are two options. The minus sign will make sure that the results don't come from the sites that belong to the government. I need these two words, or either of these two words, to be included. Orlando, Florida, email address, phone, contact. At the same time, I don't need anything coming from a section, or any of the words that include the word jobs or hiring, you know. So let's run this just so that we can see what the outcome is. Okay. So I am not getting anything coming from the government side, which is what I needed. I would look for the word executive or executives, and it is coming at least in the title part, because we have not specified in what area that of that page we want these words discovered. But there is one more thing I could do to make it slightly better. But so far, it is bringing me the right results. It is bringing me at least email addresses. There would be, what else is there? Florida is there. The word address would be there if I click on it. But for now, what I would like for it to do to be more specific, and it is all coming from contact us or contact pages, right? So at least it is taking me to the right page where I'm looking for information that could be email or anything that is discovered along with the word executive. So it could be a marketing executive, or could be, executive director, whoever it might be, it would show up on the page. But I want to make a little bit of an amendment in this one, and I would just write something like in text. Okay, and then put another in text here with the or, and I've got 19,200 results. They should reduce a little bit, because I may not want these words in the title part. So this is even better, I think. I mean, the results are more or less the same, but who knows? Let's just look at any page. Now, what happens if I don't get to see the word executive or executives from this search? What is it that I'm going to do? I'm going to do a right click, because these words have to be there. Otherwise, uh, the snippet would not appear. So where could those words be? Let me see. I'm going to open up the code, because search is reading the code. It's not reading what is shown to the user. So let me try my luck here. I'm going to do Control F and do execute there. You see, it's there. So sometimes one of the things about results that, and I'm talking about the snippet, sometimes it does not show the exact words that you look for it, or those words are not highlighted, but it doesn't mean that they don't exist somewhere in the source code, because source code might have it, but what you get to see as a user is what the programmer or the system guys have decided to show you. But because the snippet is a very concise information, sometimes it is a matter of space that it won't give it enough space to bring those words, and the other times those words remain hidden from the user side. Yet on account of why it has shown up in the first place in the snippet means that it has to exist. There is an existence of it somewhere in the code. So just remember that. Let's look at this one. Because this page does not have the word executive in the title of the snippet. So it should have it somewhere on the page. And if it doesn't, what does that mean? We have to again go back and open up the view source code. Here is the information about the executive director. Okay. Yet it is not shown to you in front of you. It is by design. So it's not like it won't exist, but this piece of information you can always collect by opening up the source code to see what lines has this information, and you can uh, make this information useful by tracking it or by looking at the code to see what level of information or what layer of information is contained. Okay, because this may be remarked or may not be shown for a reason. There is a reason that they don't show it, but it will exist. So if you don't get to see everything else, like all other elements, like emails, for instance, which belongs to the executive, um, then you know that there is something going on with either substitution of the work, which is stemming and lemmatization process. In this case, a director search engine has assumed to have an executive role, or maybe the name Gabriel Rodriguez, who is an executive, and the word is there, but it does not show it as a proper title, like what executive what, marketing executive, or whatever. But you can find some more details if you look it up in the source code. That's for you to find and discover. It's not that you get to see everything as you like in the search results, because the pages may be structured differently, or the content may not show certain information. Okay. Here is another query we can do. Now I'm going to give you all these queries. These are going to be placed in the Dropbox, just like where we have the TXT files from the notepad, where we attempted those different queries during our learning sessions. This would actually be in the Word format or a PDF format, but I'm going to place it there. Now, with these queries that we finish up today, hopefully, if we can, this would go a long way for you to look them up as a reference to finding, or the area that you have defined or identified, rather, that was of interest to, I guess, Kristen. And where is I think Randy has joined us, eh? I didn't realize. Hey, Randy, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome.
Hey, I'm good. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm here. A little
Okay,
late, but made it.
excellent. So, Randy, we did. I picked up these. I don't know at what point you joined us. I forgot, but these are the queries I picked from chapter 14 and 15. So, if you have anything that specific that you want me to do the search for, or a scenario or situation that you want to create, or for the reason of discovery of something, please let me know so that I can run it in the class, and we can share it with everybody else. It would be a lot better. Okay, so I'm going to take
Okay.
I'm going to take a break right now, and you'll have time to see and think about, see if you can come up with the search. Most privilege for doing the search on specific subjects will go to Kristen and Randy, only because you were there in the last class and we discussed about it, and you mentioned things that I thought I'd keep in mind. So I've got those queries. but you can just tell me when I come back. I only have so much time to spend on this. By the way, I think in today's class it will just go over the time limit. So we may have to do 15-20 minutes or so extra just to cover it. It's a lot to discuss or run by you in the browser. So just keep that in mind. But if you have to leave, it's still okay. I don't mind. You could just quietly. Here's another query we can run. This one has used multiple instances of in text, and I guess this is crafted, or the objective of this query is to find um, contacts, um, email. We've used the @ sign here as if it is a must have. So it is within quotations. Insurance claims, claim adjuster, loss control, claims. These are job descriptions, all of these. So we want to see if we can get the information about these. Could be your target customers, or your audience. So you want to collect that information to see if you can get, or collect, their email addresses and contact info. In text is used assuming that it is on a page somewhere, or the pages might have all of these terms. The in text contact us is used, but contact and us is separated for a reason, because sometimes the word contact is used alone without us here. I would like to make it slightly better to be more precise, where I might be able to substitute one of these instances of in text somewhere in this length of the query. Where would you suggest I would, or I should do it? Or which of the in text can be replaced by, let's say, in URL or in title? I might want to play. Yes, Isha. What do you say?
Actually, I guess the titles we can search in URL instead of in text. Claim adjuster, loss control, claim examiner, claim investigator.
Okay. So let me tell you that the in title itself contains the elements that belong to the, it's a very concise statement that is quite general, in the sense that it would not be as specific as claim adjuster. That would narrow your search to only claim adjuster or insurance claims. Any of these words that you're going to use may be in the title part, but it wouldn't give you the a la carte, all these options when you narrow it down to a title statement. So that might not be as flexible, because the title has got a different concept from where we started. If you recall, when we did in title, we were only looking at what's in the title statement, or the title tag of that page. So that was quite concise, because title normally is, short number of words. Here we want to, look for other options as well. Like, we'll be okay with loss control, a claim adjuster, all of that. Okay. So yeah, like I was saying, I would probably make a slight change here and replace it with in URL to make it more targeted, so that it can only look for contact pages or contact us, where this information most likely about any of these job titles might exist. So that could be my next step. But for now, if I just go as it is laid out here in this long query, I am going to copy and run it in the browser to see what the outcome is. Let me close some of these. Let's suppose insurance claims, contact us, email, plus control. Okay. In text, when we do in text, we're looking at this portion or body of text to contain all these words. The first one I got, I can check for it. This looks like it's a dynamic page. Anyway, so you got the wordings, claim adjusters. Let's look at contact and add sign somewhere. Oh, it's a form. It's a long form. Sometimes what happens when you have the dynamic code embedded in the HTML page, like this one, this is dynamic, eh? So what happens when this script is running behind it? It would probably have embedded information in the HTML, which is not visible to the consumer or the users or whoever is searching for that email or anything to do with @ or the name email. You know that it will exist somewhere. So you could see that it has details, it has all of these. So it could be in any of these pages. So this is the part where you may have to discover it by reaching out to the backend. I don't want to keep using the backend, but let me just open it up anyway. In text email and in text @ This is the 3 instances of email somewhere.
Mr. Naveed,
Yes.
if we go back to the main URL, at the bottom of the page, there were like links given. I think they have embedded the link for email. There was a sign for the icon for email at the
Okay,
bottom
I
of the
may have
page.
missed it. Okay, the first one, I guess. This one. At the very bottom, you're saying it somewhere. We can check and just do Control F and see @ I don't see it here. Uh,
It's at the bottom of the page. If you, yeah, see
yes.
the signs, the icons, share Facebook, and then the last one is for mail, which is for email. Last one. I think that itself is a form. The last one. Next to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn.
Link to
The
us.
last, the gray one, the one in the gray format.
This
The
one,
icon
yeah.
that is in
This
gray,
might
yeah.
have it. Yeah. But if you sort of fail to see it right in, on the page. You can look it up in the source code to get a reference, at least, like where it's at, or any other terms that are around it. You would be able to, you can navigate to that exact place. Like this one, for instance, I missed it because it was an icon. Uh, Apparently, this is the story with Google. You have to dig it out. It's not like it's right there, that you can see it. A lot of information you have to actually find in that page. But surely, when you run the query with in the right format, using all the right rules, and you making best use of those operators, you know that it is there, it is discoverable. It's just a call that you have to make to see how desperate you are, or you can actually go to the next, or maybe another of these snippets. So this might have it also. Let's look at this. Close this one and this one. It has the email. Yeah. And these hyperlinks that you see on the HTML pages, these links might have the embedded info as well. So it might just pick it up from there because it is in the body of text. So, the a lot more information about something that you want to further explore that does exist or run behind these, you may be able to click these pages and be able to find that. So we have all these here, and we should definitely have all the terms, which is talking about insurance claims, claim adjuster, or any of these would be insurance claims is here. And then where you have the or options all the way, you could find any one of these terms on those pages. What I would have wanted to do is to make a slight change in the link, or in the, where is it? So if I make a change, a slight change, and use in URL instead, let's see what's going to happen. Yeah, it's a long one, gosh. I have to spend a little bit of time making these adjustments so that I can make these like a notes for you. So let's suppose if I do in URL, let's see what's going to happen. Now I want to go to a page that is going to clear up a little bit of clutter. And instead of finding it on the page itself, it'll direct me to a contact page, or the URL will take me there. So I'm going to change. I got better results. I got 48 results. And this looks better. See, all of these are contact pages. The at some emails here, a process. That's one of the words we were able to get. And if you want to be even more precise, perhaps we can give it less of a option by removing or. But when we do that and we force the search to find all 4 words, that kind of is to do with the uh, with the pages that contain all of these together, the likelihood is far less. Usually all of these terms, and you have to use a common sense and look at the keywords you have placed in here, just so that you know that one of these may not, or some of these may not exist together, or might be more difficult to find all of these in a single content page. So you have to think of it logically to see if the practicality of all of these existing together or not. More than likely I won't get any results, so I'm going to try after removing the or. Let's see what's going to happen. No results. So it's always a good idea when you have similar terms or something that normally would uh, be available as a single search term, likelihood is that you will be able to find it. So let's say if it is claim adjuster and I get rid of all of these here, I have a better chance of finding something that only talks about a claim adjuster. Insurance claim, claim adjuster. So that part about, figuring out or making a logical assumption if all of those terms, what is the likelihood of all of those terms to coexist together? If the likelihood is less, or one might have a more meaning for the search to bring back, rather than be conflicting with or fighting with all the words to coexist together, you can start to remove some of the ors and be specific, get that part of information, and then move to the next one. You can always substitute claim adjuster with something else to get more targeted results. Randy, how is it going for you so far?
No, very good. Very good. Thank you.
Crystal, you remember you said something about finding, I guess, contractual positions, or was it you or Randy?
No, it was me. But it's always good to learn how to do job searching and all of that. So this is what I'm excited for.
Okay, so we'll do the job search thing now. Unfortunately, these are so long. These queries are, no wonder they're called complex searches. First of all, they have too many these operators working together. So it is not fitting in as I wanted. I'll have to reduce it or zoom it out a little. Okay, is this it? 2021, yeah, that's it. So here is another one, right? This one is hiring wanted, jobs, careers, contract, contracted position, copy editor. This it's a mix of things. I would rather segment it. I would say that this will make it kind of wobbly. It's not as, it is not as precise. I could probably make it better. So we will try this one out also, just to see, because here we've got too many options like either or, so it will be missing out on a lot of options here because they are not contained. They're spread and they're widely spread all across. So we've got, so we have to start to segment it uh, more. So I'm just going to do a little bit of parenthesis, but we obviously don't use parenthesis, just to group things. Hiring wanted, jobs, careers, contract. Okay. Contractor. I would rather just get rid of the word position. And I would think that this could be one segment which says hiring wanted. These are what could be the nature or the grand view of discovering the opportunities. So these could be the kind of words that would play a part with making a decision. And all of these are acceptable outcomes. But then look where we had put copy editors within quotations. Uh, what you recall with the quotation marks, we're assuming that there is an A and D in between. Like if I didn't use the quote, or I mean, I guess just so that you can separate this segment, which I'll call the second, this could be the second segment. And then this could be the last one. So generally, we have these expressed slightly in the algebraic format. So now that we know that these are all going to function together, and I think the query is correct. Like over here, we can use or assume to be having a position or something that would connect the outcome of what is derived from this first segment, and then this, whatever the outcome is, will get connected to the to whatever choice is taken by the search between these three words as the second segment. And then the third segment, here we don't have to put the A and D. Why? Because by the way, you're not just follow the instructions carefully. You don't have to put A and D in there. And you don't have to put parentheses. I'm sorry, I'm repeating it just so that I'm emphasizing that I'm only explaining it with using these temporarily, A and Ds and parentheses. So they don't exist with the queries that you're going to put together. For now, I am going to give you an idea of what is considered as segmented. Now, when I remove these parentheses or this segment, it basically means in the algebraic sense, it is going to eliminate all of these words. So they're not grouped. They're not supposed to be grouped. They're supposed to be taken out from whatever the outcomes come, or whatever the results are derived from segment A and segment B, or this segment and this segment. So if I remove, this is just telling me, or this is one way of me structuring it and verifying whether I am correct conceptually, placing everything in the right uh, format. So that's why I'm doing this. And I do it when I'm building some complex query. I just verify it by translating it into the algebraic format. So now with this in quotations, I have separated it from this part. All of these would work together now. And this will also work together, and whatever the outcome is, it is going to ensure that none of these terms are showing up either from the site, both of these sites, And then we have used year 2021 as something that we want to stick to. I can even put it 2022 over here to make it new. This should work. By the way, with what is going to be the outcome of the options using several instances of or, it is going to look for these words anywhere on those pages. It could be in the URL, or it could be in the title tag, or it could be in the body of text, because we have not attached anything as a advanced operator to restrict it to that specific region of the page. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's run it. Enough talk. Let's run it now. Looks okay to me. One last look. Actually, this is coming from the region where I have actually forgot to take off the VPN. Let me see if I can change it. No, my sign in. Again, I don't quite remember. Let me try this one. Do you guys or any one of you use VPNs for search or not? Okay, so we got two free jobs. So it came from this segment. Or copywriters. It has both the jobs, copywriter, freelance copywriter, proofreader jobs. And at the same time, we wanted to avoid the what you call the false positive situation where the resumes start coming. You don't need those resumes. In fact, you are the one looking for the job. You're not hiring someone. In fact, some of the terms can be confusing when you are using words like hiring. This would also mean that you are hiring instead of finding someone who is hiring or where the opportunity is. So that could give a false positive signals to search. And for that reason, you don't want like samples, resumes, or you don't want anything coming from the site indeed.com, simplyhired.com. And notice that when we are using site as an absolute command with the minus sign, we're using two instances of it. With the minus sign, we don't have to put the OR in this. Whereas if it was without a minus sign and two instances of site for being an absolute command exist together, then you do have to put the OR sign or put the OR to avoid the conflict. You don't have to do it with the minus signs, with the site operator. So this works, and 2022 simply hired is not coming. But what if I had taken out these? What would happen then? apparently simply hired is not coming. So, but instead, yeah, indeed.com is coming. We don't want indeed.com. We don't want zip recruiter. So we can put a minus sign and put ziprecruiter.com or minus site indeed.com. Okay. Long one. Let me just use it from here and make it like one page, single view. Okay, jumping. This is the one, number 9. In URL jobs, in URL careers, in URL job opportunities. We have used in URL with the words like jobs only because we assume and we feel comfortable that most of the links from the main navigations or the top heading contains the navigations with the wordings careers or jobs, just like contact us or about us. That's why we have used in URL with the word jobs and careers. And then there could be another sort of a longer caption or a longer navigational words like job opportunities. So we've used it with OR to see if we can get to them directly. And then in the text or in the body, we want to discover if there is, information that's talking about copy editors, proofreaders. And because the careers and jobs might logically would contain the jobs offered or careers offered as a proofreader or copy editor. That's why we have used in text to, first of all, to bring the search to those direct pages which have a have in their title words like careers or in the URL words like careers and job opportunities, and in the body it has information about copywriters or these opportunities. Then we've got the year 2021. It is further telling the search to find something that is new, especially in job searches. You want to be mindful about, getting to the latest or the newest opportunities. FL, you can use an abbreviation for Florida. We don't want anything that is we've used minus in URL here. We could have written minus site colon indeed.com. Could do that. But so Glassdoor, Flex Jobs, we don't want anything coming from any of these sources. In URL, zip recruiter. But what I'm saying is that you can even use minus site colon, but with the .com or whatever the extension would be for that URL, or for that domain rather. So if we had used site, it should be .com or whatever the whatever makes it look like a domain. And that's what we have to write. Another situation with using in URL, which could be of advantage to us, is that wherever the word indeed is mentioned in the length of a URL as a reference to or coming from any other site, or where it's advertised with the word Indeed or Glassdoor, it is going to eliminate all those, including the ones that are coming from the domain itself. So it covers a lot more ground if you're using in URL to get rid of certain words rather than just, defaulting or making it disappear or making the or excluding just the domain part. So that's why we use in URL quite often if you want to ensure that nothing to do with any of these shows up. So we've got LinkedIn, copywriter jobs, copywriter. It contains the word job, so it is going directly over there. Careers, again, taking you directly to this link. So it was pretty useful. And Florida, FL, all of these have something to do with Florida. See, this one is in Clearwater, Florida. All of that. Absurd quizzes. By the way, if you noticed that there is an explanation at the bottom of this individual queries, and this is explaining more about the query or the objective of the query and why we have used certain notations and operators and the words and as much as we could accommodate in a summarized format is there. So when you get the chance or you have the time, you can run these queries on your own as well, just to practice with them. This is another one. I hope you can see it clearly instead of writing it on the notepad. You see this one? What do you make of this? What is the objective of this query? You think? What is the search doing or looking for? Anyone? Okay. The only thing that well, the objective obviously is to look for jobs at honey in a company that's got a name Honeywell. I believe that's a company, Honeywell. And then in the URL, we are looking for something that has to do with UK or the Honeywell operation in UK is offering a job that has to do with marketing or sales. And the in URL obviously is taking you to that specific page. Rest of it is giving more information in context to the content page or whatever is contained inside of those pages. So that's the objective. Yes, marketing jobs in Honeywell. So this is one query that we can run. The thing with this, okay, let's try it. careers, honeywell.com, sales, marketing. And see, this is defaulting to UK. So if I click on it, it should take me to the jobs that are coming from. So Honeywell would have um, a section or one of the navigations at the top when you go to their website that is for careers. So that's why, and by the way, you know that the way it's written as a domain, it is indicating that it is actually a subdomain of Honeywell. Okay, sometimes instead of creating a folder or defaulting to sub navigation from the main domain, is taking you to the page itself. But if the company is too large and there is too much activity there for technical reasons, they want a large a portion of that those pages or those discoverable uh, data sets to be transferred to or be directed to its subdomain. Sometimes it is done for load balancing, sometimes to optimize database function, sometimes for security reasons. So it's not unusual to see subdomains that has a format like this. Uh, Quickly, just so you know, um, anytime that you want to verify if the link is taking you to a legitimate website, a site that is supposed to be genuinely that belongs to the company itself, uh, you will see the words like careers, mail, or whatever is separated, news, to be the first words that are followed by the domain name itself. So if careers.honeywell.com is what you see, then it is the correct format or it is the correct subdomain of the main domain. Unless it was written as honeywell.com or honeywell.careers.com or honeywell.com.careers, that is a format which is dubious and which is intentionally misleading you to another website which does not belong to the main company, or it is a fake site. Okay. You see that in PayPal or some of the online banking systems like TD Financial. I've seen it quite a bit. So just look at the address bar and identify if that domain is legit. Okay, so in this one, we don't have a lot of times to go through and open up individual pages, but as long as it is functioning properly and you can see majority of what you require in the snippets, we would call it okay, all right? And we'll move on to the next one. But most important would be some elements that I will specifically mention in those search results, or not only search results, but even in the uh, in the query itself, they would be not only prominent, but they look slightly unusual. Like UK, for instance, if I needed something that is, and because incidentally, Honeywell is an international company or it's globally well known to have offices everywhere in the world, it would have segmented or distributed its websites or subdomains to belong to certain region, certain part of the world. And invariably and more than likely, you will see that abbreviation or abbreviation of countries or even languages that would appear in the URL portion. And that's what the DNA of URL must contain and should contain. Ideally, it is how we think that in URL is structured. So words like UK as an abbreviation or acronym, FR for France, maybe CN for China, all those would appear in the URLs. So taking advantage of that knowledge, we can use these abbreviations using the in URL command to direct it or to get the source coming from that specific area. Now, at honeywell.com we have written. Why did we write at honeywell.com is because we're trying to find the email address. If we did not need the email address, we could just put it like this without the .com. Honeywell should be good enough. Okay. And further direction can be given by the word UK. So Honeywell UK would also work. But what we did here is that we used at. And whenever you use at, usually you put a .com if that's the email address you're looking for. But if you leave it this way, it could misdirect the search without .com, only because at Honeywell could also mean that it is a uh, handle for, I believe it's what Twitter or some other social media sites that are using @ sign. They're also using hash signs, which is again confusing for the search. Why? Because the hash sign, even though it is going to bring something from the Twitter, understanding it as a social media link or social media name or a pseudonym that follows the hashtag, but at the same time, it could also mean tags. Tags are, as I mean, I don't know if I have to explain tags, but I'm sure you understand that tags is a concise word that is used to define or identify with the section or area or the content, the content that basically is represented by that concise word. So if the hashtags are used in all different websites, including ours. We use hashtags extensively. Even YouTube uses hashtags. Everybody seems to be using hashtags, but those hashtags are not really Twitter related specifically. Instead, you can say that those can be confused with the tags that we use to put the or give it the heading or a title for what exists within those tags as a reference. That's why if one has to say that the @ sign that is used with the word or the hashtags used with the word is exclusively for getting to the social media accounts or collecting social media information is incorrect. It's not as accurate, but it helps, to find or even Google has mentioned it as specifically the hashtag. You've mentioned it as searching for the social media accounts. But when you do use it, you will find that it has that tricky thing, which I explained to you. We have some examples that we can run with the hashtag. We're just running out of time. These queries sometimes, I mean, if we can complete it, it's fine. If we don't, we'll continue in the next lecture. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? We probably add another class. But I do think that these are important because here we are actually running those real queries and also reinforcing our concepts and understanding. And I'm getting tired also and kind of, I don't think that I'll be able to finish it. So anyway, I'll continue with whatever gets left out. If you have any questions, this is the right time to ask, actually. In fact, yeah,
Missionary
just
Disha here. I just have one question.
yes.
If you scroll up and we see the browser that you have actually entered in URL 2 times, 3 times actually. So is there a
Mhm.
way that we can just add in URL just once?
Like, let's say
Like
if
we have
I
URL
do
for
the
contact and then we have for
right,
jobs and then we have for UK.
right. So let me just do it the way that you, and I think I've explained it, but I'll do it again. So I
Maybe
think
I missed
what you're
because I
saying
was
is,
there in the previous classes.
yeah, you mean like this, eh?
Yes, yes. Do you think it would work if we just keep them as it is?
I think you'll end up getting a lot more results, and it would actually be discovering words like careers and jobs as if these are the words that should exist anywhere in the body of text or in the title tag or in the URLs. Like it wouldn't have that kind of a restraint to find them specifically in the URL portion. Uh, that's the reason why we cannot use it with context. Now, supposing if we had a situation like this, two things can happen. One, for sure, the word contact will be discovered in the URL. Uh, Careers and jobs may not be discovered in the URL portion, which is where we are trying to focus our attention to get to those pages that have a navigation taking us to careers or jobs or contacts. So that process is eliminated if you don't put in URL. Second, these two words can be found anywhere on that page, irrespective of whether or not they occur in the URL portion. Second thing that might happen is that the search has the tendency to include or club or connect with words that follow the first word, contact, for instance. So what might happen is that without putting these within quotation marks, okay, you would allow for the search to club contact carriers together. Right now, it doesn't make sense to have these two connected or they don't exist together. But assuming if it was any other words, let's say instead of careers, it may just connect with or attach with together as if it is a single search phrase. So the search might just do that and it'll start to falter and it's not going to. So you understand what I'm explaining?
Yes, Mr. Noidi, I got it. Yeah.
So this is the reason why we use in URL here. Now we have bound all three of these to be found inside of the URL. Again, this will not work. Why would this not work? This won't work because the likelihood of finding all three words, because they are similar, they normally don't exist together in the URL. And if you put it the way I have structured it with three instances, each of in URL, each of these words being a forced inclusion in the search results, and knowing that it will not exist together, or there's less likelihood of existing together, I'm creating a problem for myself. So what I must do is that I should put an or in between so that now the in URL would have an option to find either of these three words as if any of these jobs or careers or contact would suffice or would serve the purpose. Okay, because these are the three ways in which you would think that the information that is following from here onwards would exist in the body of text on those pages that are coming from contact us or careers or jobs. That clear, Isha?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Navidya. I'm clear now.
Yes. What seems easy to learn through how the advanced operators or booleans or whatever we are using together in those queries, it seems easy when we learn them as being individual components. And then when we start to play with them for them to work together, it becomes complex. It is a test of your concepts and your ability to understand even before executing a query that you must structure it carefully with the knowledge that you have. And then even then it might be a problem and you would still have to fine tune it. You see, so this is the process of, um, I guess, acquiring proficiency to do your searches without having to worry too much about how you structure it. If you sort of know it well enough, you will just keep writing in the address bar. That's what I do. And for you to get started, unless it becomes your I guess your learned process that you become proficient in, by applying it over and over, you're better off to first write it and then learn from it, and then predict or assume that this is how the results might turn up, and apply it. And if it does not show the results, you would have to, you know, you'll have to optimize it or fine tune it. So this is a process and not just one thing, and it will take time. If you keep practicing, you'll get the hang of it, and it'll become a second nature for you to just do your searches very quickly and proficiently. We have another one, which is 11. You know how many of these I collected just to run them in the class? I have about 24 of them. And I don't think that I'd be able to finish it. And if at the end of, all the scheduled classes, we feel that we weren't able to finish something, or it requires an additional class, I'd be happy to give it, uh, and happy to continue with whatever is left over, because I think it is going to be exhausting. And usually when we are doing these kind of searches with so many variations of it, it can be very taxing, and it could be a lot of information to assimilate. So we shouldn't really push it. Even for myself, it's a lot of queries to run. And what I would ideally do now that we have got enough, that we were able to finish up, I will have to continue with these, meaning that I would not be able to start the traditional research methods on Monday. I'd rather finish this one and do queries like this, which I mentioned, but it was just verbally explained. But now we're going to execute them. The ones that use, let's say, the hashtags for doing social media searches. This is important. In fact, all of these are important, you know. So why not just enjoy our weekend, take a break, because I'm also tired, and then I'll continue with this on Monday. I'm going to leave this in your Dropbox so that you have, if you get time over the weekend, please try them out, especially the ones that we have already worked with, so that you may have questions on Monday for me. Okay, Randy, thank you
Thank you.
so much. And everybody,
you.
Isha, good to see you back. And Listy, you recovered from your dental procedure, crowning and all that?
Yes.
Okay, so you're good. All right. So you have a pleasant weekend then. Kristen, bye-bye to you as well. Take care. Stay safe. I'll see you all on Monday.
See you. Have a good weekend.
Bye all.
To all as well. Thank you.
Wish you the same. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.